This team is very dangerous offensively, so that word momentum, want to get a lot of positive momentum going into the tournament next weekend in Charlotte.
And we are underway from South Bend. Notre Dame controls the tip, coming off a 56-54 win over Stanford on Wednesday. They had lost 7 of the previous 9 before that late game victory over the Cardinals. Matt Allocco for 3, puts it down on the first play of the game for Notre Dame.
Well, what better way to start senior night for Matt Allocco than knocking down a 3, which is what he does. He's been battling a little bit of a wrist injury all season, but didn't seem to bother him too much on that one. Great start.
Both of these teams have been injury tested this year. Notre Dame's Matt Allocco certainly included in that. Same with Cal. They're starting their 8th different starting lineup today. And again, they are without Joshua Ola-Joseph, the transfer from Minnesota. 5th straight game he will miss. Foul on Notre Dame. It'll stay here. And the foul is on Matt Allocco. Well, Notre Dame head coach Markus Shrewsbury in his 2nd season said it was just so nice for his team to finally come away with a single-digit win. They had lost 4 by single digits in the last month in ACC play.
Yeah, it's had a ton of close games this year. You see Blackshirt knocking down a 3 to answer, but it's amazing what a win like that can do sometimes, especially like we talked about heading into the ACC tournament next weekend, where every game normally is close like that, a 1-possession game. You see Burton get on the scoreboard, but yeah, very, very much needed win the other night here against a good Stanford team that they're going to look to springboard here over the last couple weeks of the season.
Notre Dame going with a bigger starting lineup as Burton wins that back and picked off. Back to Sissoko, and a foul on Kebajai of the shooting variety. And Mady Sissoko a little bit shaken up. A lot of contact there with Kebajai. It's part of the reason why Notre Dame's going with a big starting 5, starting Jai and Konstantinovsky to handle this man in the paint.
Mady Sissoko is a force in there, and on that first possession, Notre Dame came right away with the post trap, so they're going to force somebody for the Golden Bears to beat him besides number 12.
Sissoko, the grad transfer from Michigan State, played in 4 consecutive NCAA tournaments under Tom Izzo. And Cal showing some full court pressure early.
They're going with the diamond 1-2-1-1 full court right away. Try to speed up the Irish a little bit, but Notre Dame does a pretty good job handling it. The Cal's a team that will switch it up defensively quite a bit. They'll play man, they'll play some zone at times, full court pressure like we just saw.
Burton with less than 10 to shoot. Here he is again with the basketball, the leading scorer in the ACC this year. Davis beats the buzzer with a baseline floater. He has been terrific, David, particularly over the last month of the season.
He has. He's had a terrific season for the Irish, and Markus Burton obviously gets all of the attention, rightfully so from a scouting standpoint, but Tay Davis has had a great season, and that is what his mid-range game is, his strong suit. Pretty good interior defense there that time by the Irish against Sissoko.
Burton, pass picked off by Wilkinson, and the freshman lays it home.
Great job there by Jeramiah Wilkinson, just completely read the eyes of Markus Burton, who came off that ball screen and was just thinking pass the whole way. When you come off that ball screen, you got to, first place you got to look is at the rim. Almost just telegraphed that pass of what he was going to do.
Well, look, Cal's record is what it is as Burton gets the and 1 to go, and will have a chance at a 3-point play at the line.
Markus Burton has just been so effective all season long, just makes the right decision, and give him credit on that time, did a good job of stepping in and drawing the contact, initiated it himself. Wasn't a whole lot there for Cal, but he is just so tough to defend. Do you switch it? Do you trap it? Do you play drop coverage? What do you do? He's just so quick with the basketball. It was interesting watching him before the game. He actually took a tennis ball and was standing on the baseline down there doing some ball handling with a tennis ball. You don't see that a whole lot, but obviously pretty effective, something that maybe some other guys may want to start doing too. They can play like he does. He is lightning quick with that basketball in his hands.
Reigning ACC Rookie of the Year. Cal has been in a lot of games this year in spite of what the record says, and Jovan Blacksher picking up right where he left off in the loss to Louisville earlier this week, had a season-high 22 against the Cardinals.
Yeah, Jovan Blacksher, the transfer from Grand Canyon, knocking down a little mid-range jump shot. You know, these two teams are very similar in that regard. They've had a lot of close games that just have not gone their way, which see a foul here on Tay Davis on the jump shooter, something you never want to do. But you know, Notre Dame getting that win the other day, down 2 with the ball with less than 20 seconds left, knocked down a 3 to win the game. Sometimes that's all it takes. It's just growing pains with younger teams. We were talking to Micah Shrewsbury earlier today, and he said, we're an older team, but our older guys are not ones that we rely on. So had to kind of learn trial by fire a little bit this year and gain that experience the hard way.
But now Julian Roper, one of a number of Irish players honored before the game on senior day. 8 players and 2 managers. Part of the senior day festivities this afternoon in South Bend. Game tied at 10, 16:22 to go in the first half. Cal and Notre Dame both playing for some momentum going into the ACC tournament. Burton off the mark, rebound Sissoko. Deep 3, Wilkinson knocks it down. And Cal's first lead of the first half.
And this is the start you want if you're Mark Madsen. They have struggled at times mightily offensively this year, have not shot the ball well, especially on the road. But a great start for the Bears. 13 early points in just the first 4 minutes of the game.
There's Kabajai into the chest of Sissoko, forced back out. Under 10 to shoot.
Good defense there by Sissoko, just walling up, holding his ground. They're gonna get an illegal screen here, I think, on Garrett Sundra.
Indeed.
Closer, you guys scoot closer.
Well, Markus Shrewsbury in year 2 of rebuilding this Notre Dame program that has such a rich tradition of winning, not only at the conference level, but at the NCAA tournament level. Believes he's got great pieces returning for next year, including Markus Burton, who is headed back to the foul line.
Good set there by Notre Dame coming out of the timeout, just clearing out that side for Markus Burton as we take a look at Mark Madsen. It was very interesting talking to him this morning about, and we've had a chance to do Stanford this season as well, the adjustment moving into the ACC, not only from a basketball standpoint, but your first question to him was about the travel. And I thought his answers were very interesting. They're just trying to figure out the best way to do it. You know, they're at such a disadvantage, Stanford and Cal are. Every other week they have to fly either to the Central or the Eastern time zone, whereas the teams out here, Notre Dame, for example, doesn't have to make the West Coast trip. So it's going to be very interesting to see how those West Coast schools adjust to having to fly across the country so much throughout the season.
To your point, Cal just 1-8 this year in the Central or Eastern time zones. That lone win came in the middle of January against NC State. But a much better start tonight than they had on Wednesday night at Louisville. Stojakovic, his first jumper short, and there is Konechny on senior day with a rebound.
Well, you would expect the second game of the road trip to be better. Your body's more acclimated. You feel like you've gotten adjusted to the time zone that you're in. And we're not making excuses by any stretch. I mean, it is what it is. But it definitely makes a difference for these guys having to travel that much.
Well, Madsen, of course, spent a lot of time in the NBA, 2-time world champ with the Lakers. Told us he feels like this is more difficult travel than when he played in the NBA. And everybody on his staff still figuring it out. They've met with sleep experts, they've met with recovery experts, and it's an ongoing conversation throughout the season.
And you had a really interesting stat from doing the game the other night. Not only Cal, the Stanford team, but also their women's teams. The record of those 4 teams having to travel back here was just jaw-dropping. But again, it's, as far as we know, it's not going to change anytime soon. So they're just going to have to try to figure out the best way to make it work.
75% of the losses by the Cal men's and women's, Stanford men's and women's basketball teams have come on the road this year. Shout out to my man Lee Torben, running stats today. Dug up that gem, and it will be interesting. Look, this is the first year in the ACC for Cal and Stanford and SMU, who obviously doesn't have as much of a jump with the time zone change, but certainly something to keep an eye on.
Well, clearly there's a way to do it. UCLA's in the Big Ten now, obviously, and they're having a great season. So there's a way to do it. It's just something you just got to figure out as you go.
Inside to Dort, left it short, and Konstantinovsky comes away with it.
Well, Dort made a great move right there, got to the spot, but he didn't need to shot fake. Konstantinovsky didn't leave his feet, he just walled up. No need to shot fake, just go straight up with it.
Oh, Burton drawing contact as he does so well, and he's headed to the line for the third time already in this game.
Just so quick coming off that ball screen, getting in the lane, and you mentioned it, he just does such a good job of it, initiating and drawing the contact. And if you're Cal, it's the last thing you want to do is send him to the free throw line. He's an 88% free throw shooter.
Well, David Padgett mentioned it earlier in this game. Monday night will debut our documentary chronicling last season NC State men's and women's basketball teams who both made magical runs to the Final Four. Never before seen footage, interviews with players and coaches. The 1 hour special, Why Not Both, premieres 7 Eastern right here on the ACC net on Monday night. Such an improbable run for an NC State men's team that was a 10 seed going into the ACC tournament.
Yeah, they would not have earned an at-large bid last year in the NCAA tournament. They had to win the ACC tournament and then win those 4 games to get to the Final Four. Just incredible.
And they stole bids from other potential teams that could have had an at-large because of exactly what you're talking about. Didn't have the record to get that at-large bid. And Notre Dame feels like they're a team that can make a run. You commented on it earlier today. Their shoot-around was as lively as we've seen any team shoot around all year. And this is a team with a losing record.
Yeah, the morale was through the roof. I mean, it certainly didn't seem like a team that has had its fair share of ups and downs. But Michael Shrewsbury credited his players. He said, I coach a great group of kids who just come to work every day with a great attitude. And, you know, you got to love to see that when there's definitely some adversity that has hit throughout the season.
Picked off by Roper. And the Northwestern transfer too heavy. But Sir Muhammad on the follow, and a timeout taken by Mark Madsen today helps them in their effort to get that coveted first-round bye in Charlotte next week.
Yeah, getting that 9 spot. Now they're going to need some help with that Syracuse and Virginia game and a few other things throughout the day. But if they take care of business here at home and end up getting that 9 seed somehow, that's huge, having to play one less potential game.
DJ Campbell knocks down a 3. It's the second made 3 of the game for Cal.
And Cal, a team that only shoots 29% on the season. DJ Campbell only 21% in ACC play, have come out shooting the ball really, really well so far here on the road. Forcing the turnover on the other end by Tay Davis.
4th turnover of the game so far for the Fighting Irish. Mark Madsen's team shot 50% from the floor so far in this game. Well above their season average in league play. Stojakovic. Late whistle comes in from Claire Aubrey. And the Stanford transfer will get a pair of free throws. Table before the game and said, hey, we had 2 really good nights of practice here at Purcell Pavilion before our game today. And the guy at the line right now, Andrej Stojakovic, the son of the great NBA player Peja Stojakovic, didn't miss in warmups this afternoon.
No, I was very curious to watch a lot of these guys, but especially Andrej Stojakovic before the game, and I watched him for a good 6-7 minutes doing their shooting drills. I turned my head a few times, so I'm not going to say he didn't miss anything, but I did not see him miss anything.
I'm not going to hold you to it, David.
I guess we'll go to the videotape later on.
Yeah, exactly.
Cal going a little 2-3 zone here out of the timeout, switching it up.
Cole Serta just coming into the game, hit that game-winning shot on Wednesday night against Stanford, and Burton off the mark. Last touched by Cal. One back by Sir Muhammad, who has inserted himself back into the regular rotation after missing 10 games this year with a knee injury.
Mark Madsen not happy with his team right there, giving up that offensive rebounds. They played a very good possession of defense. Notre Dame didn't get the ball anywhere near the middle of that zone, just played catch around the perimeter, and nearly a 5 count here.
That was a major mid-air collision by Blacksher and Burton, who was arguing that it was touched by Burton, should have been a backcourt violation. Instead, under 10 to shoot for Notre Dame.
Not sure if Notre Dame sees it. I think Sir Muhammad does. 3 seconds.
Gets to the cup, tapped out by Dort. Here comes Stojakovic. Euro off glass, won't go. And now Allocco leading the break for Notre Dame. Burton extra pass, and Cole Serta stepped out of bounds.
Mark Madsen begging for a foul call on that last drive by Stojakovic. Able to get that whistle, but Notre Dame just a little out of sorts here over these last couple of minutes. Got off to a good start in the first 5 or so minutes of the half, but these last couple of minutes, a couple turnovers, almost a 5-second count on underneath out of bounds, just careless, unforced turnover there, stepping out of bounds in the corner. And Notre Dame has struggled with turnovers this year. They actually have a negative assist-turnover ratio in ACC play. Something to keep an eye on. Cal not a team that forces a ton of turnovers, but so far for Notre Dame, struggling to take care of the basketball.
DJ Campbell's going to the foul line for Cal. It is a place the Cal Bears have lived this year. David's talked about it a bunch already in this game. Not a great shooting team, but one of the best in the conference at getting to the foul line and making their free throws. 23% of their points this year have come at the charity stripe. Well, Sunday we'll have the ACC Wrestling Championships from Cameron Indoor Stadium in Durham. Coverage of the finals begins at 8 Eastern right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. If you're a fan of wrestling, you don't want to miss that. 5 programs ranked in the top 25 entering the ACC Wrestling Champs. Rebound Kabachai. Campbell makes 1 of 2.
Cal going to stick with that zone, and I don't blame them. That last possession by Notre Dame, that's the first time they've gotten the ball into the middle, but Kabachai is not a threat to shoot that, so Cal doing a good job staying at home.
Allocco extra pass, and Roper bangs down a 3.
How about the friendly roll there for Roper from the corner, but that was, Matt Allocco did a great job of cutting. The ball went inside to Kabachai. Allocco didn't stand, he cut, got the zone to collapse. Great kick out to Roper for the 3.
Campbell. Here's Burton with 8. And rims it down. Burton in double figures with 10.
How about the last couple of rolls the Irish have gotten on these rims?
You said it's one of the friendliest gyms in America.
It is. I had a chance to play in here. I coached in here. And Notre Dame always shot the ball well in here whenever we came in here, but it's a great arena to shoot in. Obviously, the Irish very familiar with it being their home arena, but getting a couple really friendly rolls last couple of times. But again, Cal getting back to the free throw line. Lead Dort. But you see Matt Allocco, great back cut and a great kick to the corner to a wide open Roper. Gets the friendly roll. And again, Markus Burton just getting to his spot. He's got such great elevation on that mid-range jump shot. He's obviously not the biggest guy in the world, but he gets such good lift to knock down that mid-range jumper.
6th team foul already on Notre Dame. 1 more. Cal in the bonus the rest of the first half. That was one of the big things that Micah Shrewsbury, in our meeting with him today during Notre Dame's shoot-around, stressed to us. Have to keep Cal off the free throw line, and it's something they haven't been able to do so far in the first half.
Been very lucky because that's Dort. That's the second miss there for Lee Dort. So Cal doing a good job getting there, just not taking advantage of making the free throws. But Notre Dame's doing a good job so far on the backboard. Cal is a very good offensive rebounding team. Now, other side of that coin is when you don't make a lot of shots, there's going to be a lot of opportunities to get misses. But Notre Dame so far in this game doing a good job of controlling that backboard.
Some may call that padding the stats, David Padgett.
Hey, every shot is an opportunity.
You would never do that.
No. I didn't shoot outside of 5 feet, so my chance for missing wasn't very high.
Burton in his bag early. 4 for 8 from the floor with 12 points to lead all scorers. And he has averaged 28.5 points per game over the last 4 since Braden Shrewsbury went down for the year with his injury. And that was lost by Cal, back to Notre Dame.
Yeah, Jeramiah Wilkinson looks like that just went off his foot, pleading for a foul there. But Markus Burton is just so, I mentioned it earlier, how do you defend him in the ball screen? Every team has tried different ways to do it throughout the season, but nobody's really found a successful way. He just does such a good job of probing and not being in a hurry, just takes his time getting to his spot and just always makes the right decision.
Burton draws a foul.
Gonna get a goaltend.
No,
there.
we're gonna get a goaltend. And it's going the other way, called by Cherry Heater from the far side. Largest lead of the half for Notre Dame at 4. 8 minutes and change to go.
Markus Burton already with 14 points in this first half.
The rest of the team with 10 combined. Rebound Sissoko, and with 2 hands drops it down.
And that is exactly what Mady Sissoko does best. Just went up and got that, and he got it with 2 hands. He's got such a quick second jump, just went right back up with it.
Stops a 4.5-minute drought for the Bears without a the year, and probably one of the 2 best players in the country with a legitimate shot at National Player of the Year. The other, Janai Broome, who's in a battle right now over on ESPN against Alabama. Sundra on the turnaround, Jay. And rebound snatched out by Rytis Petraitis, the Air Force transfer. Picked off. Here comes Roper.
Andrej Stojakovic just got caught in no man's land there, picked up his dribble, but he was in the lane, so didn't have a whole lot of time. Just a heads-up play by Julian Roper to pick the pocket, go down and lay it in. And Notre Dame, after struggling there for a few minutes offensively, has certainly found a rhythm.
Petraitis going right into the teeth of the defense, lays it home. And his first points of the contest. Burton back the other way with the bump, no problem. Drops it in over the top of Blackshirt.
I just don't know if you can defend him one-on-one, especially in the open court. He's so under control. Just showing off that mid-range game right now, just knocking it down every single time.
Petraitis. Right back to the right hand, back to back for the former Air Force star. Davis might have gotten away with a little bit of a chicken wing there. Drops it in nonetheless. 2 for Davis.
Well, Cal's staying with that 2-3 zone, and Garrett Sundra is the one who's flashing to the middle. Missed that first jump shot and didn't look real comfortable in shooting another one. I think maybe if Notre Dame can get Tay Davis in the middle in there, it might be more effective. But Cal right now just throwing the ball all over the gym.
5th Cal turnover. Here's Burton operating. Oh, that's filthy from Burton. Fading away in the lane, he has 18.
And Cal just has no answer right now whatsoever for Markus Burton, and that basket looks about 3 times the size that it actually is right now for number 3 in white. Just putting on a clinic from the mid-range.
Burton coughed it up. Petraitis leading the 3-on-2. Oh, and Sissoko is hammered by Julian Roper, the second. Underneath, and free throws coming for Cal.
Good job there by Markus Burton, just reading the passer's eyes, picking it off, going down the other way, and right now just playing with all the confidence in the world, getting to that ACC logo and not even touching the rim on that one.
Seventh team foul on Notre Dame, 5 for Cal. It's been a physical first half here in South Bend. Cal has already doubled up Notre Dame in terms of free throw attempts this afternoon. Sissoko off the mark, and Konstantinovsky with a rebound.
Markus Burton get a quick breather here before this next media timeout. So Tay Davis sitting on the bench as well. Matt Allocco is going to have to be the guy here for Notre Dame, especially against this zone. But they got to get the ball in the middle there. Konstantinovsky's in there. They just got to get it to him.
With the ball, 5 to shoot. Here's Konecny eyeing the shot clock, fading away. Blackshirt catch and shoot. Petrides, man, he's just right place, right time so often. And just off the mark. Konecny left open. That's a 3.
And that's about as simple a zone offense as it gets right there. Go get the ball to the wing, wing to the interior, defense collapses, kick it opposite to a wide open Konecny, knocking down the 3 here on senior day.
7-0 Notre Dame run over the last 2 minutes and change. Blackshirt almost lost it. Petrides, man, daring him to take a 3. He's missed back-to-back from downtown.
Petrides is a capable three-point shooter, but I think he was almost too open that time. You mentioned it, Notre Dame almost daring him to shoot it, which can actually screw you up a little bit if you're that wide open.
Here's Allocco with 5. Step back jumper. Konecny rebound, fresh 20 for Notre Dame, and last touched.
Throughout the season especially, it has been incredible. And definitely going to get a chance to play at the next level somewhere, whether it's maybe the G League or somewhere overseas. But he's one of those guys that don't be surprised if he has a 15-year pro career somewhere and makes a very nice living for himself. But just got to love to see him just giving back to his home country. That's one of his main priorities as a college student.
Didn't start playing basketball until he was 16 when he moved to the United States, not knowing a word of English, as Wilkinson draws a foul against J.R. Konecny, his first. And that will send Wilkinson to the line, where Cal has been frequently so far in the first half. 7 for 11 from the line. Sissoko's story is really remarkable. That village, when he was growing up, no electricity, no cars. He worked on a farm, youngest of 10 children. A work ethic that was praised by his former head coach, Tom Izzo. Well, we're excited about our next gymnastics meet on ACC Network tomorrow at 5 Eastern. It's all part of the Elevate the Stage quad meet. 4 schools, all ranked in the top 25. Cal in North Carolina, as well as Alabama and Michigan State squaring off in Huntsville, Alabama. Under 3 minutes to go in the opening frame in South Bend. Notre Dame with a 35-28 lead. Cal has cooled offensively, still shooting 40%. And there's a foul on Wilkinson.
Cal going to almost not a box and one, but as soon as Markus Burton gets the ball up there, just face guarding him, just trying not to let him get it back. Sissoko's just sitting in the middle of the lane. Konstantinovsky, not a three-point shooter, more of a facilitator up there right now. Cal just hoping somehow, some way they could make somebody else beat him. Markus Burton has just been on fire here in this first half. And Tay Davis, picking up those 2 fouls, continues to remain on the bench over here. But a quiet first half by his standards.
Well, that is where Wilkinson heads with 2 fouls for Cal. Onto the bench. Here's Blacksher.
Again, 1 and done for Cal. Good offensive rebounding team, but only 2 offensive rebounds to show so far in this game.
And they've missed their last 5 threes after opening the game 3 for 3 from distance. Briefly took the lead here in South Bend.
Mark Madsen will be happy with them continuing to shoot the ball from 3 as long as they're good shots. I thought that last one, not that Blacksher can't make that shot, but it's in transition. You're going full speed ahead. Your momentum's carrying you to the basket. It's really difficult to just stop and gather yourself and knock down a 3. Your teammate's not set for offensive rebounding. I'd like to see him be a little bit more patient, maybe work that shot clock a little bit more.
No field goals for either team in the last 2 minutes plus. Jai with 3. Backing down Petrides and stripped by the Air Force transfer, forcing a shot clock violation.
Good defense there by Cal. Did a good job on Markus Burton on the ball screen, and then the good hands there by Petrides. Kevin Jai not quite aware how much time was left there until it was about 2 seconds, and you just got to turn it, try to force something up.
Where are you going here if you're Cal? They're nearing 5 minutes without a field goal.
Notre Dame going in a little zone of their own here. Stojakovic obviously has been quiet. Just haven't had a whole lot of success from anybody, quite frankly.
Until now, Stojakovic stops the streak of 5 straight misses from distance.
And those are the 3s that Mark Madsen wants. The ball moved. It went from side to side. Got it reversed a few times, and again, you see that Stojakovic. I mean, his dad is one of the great shooters in the history of the NBA, so you know he can shoot the ball as well. His percentage is just misleading. He's a much better shooter than he has shot this year, and you can see it right there.
Allocco lost it. Here comes Blacksher. Up ahead to Campbell. And it is back to a 1-possession game, and a timeout taken by Micah Shrewsbury. We will be right back in 30 seconds. And currently on the 12 line, they too could move up 3 spots with a win and some help from their ACC comrades this afternoon. Final minute to go in the first half. Burton leads all scorers with 18. Serta. Short from way downtown. Oh, last touch by Stojakovic. And he is arguing with Claire Aubrey, saying he did not touch it. Mark Madsen wants them to take a look at the monitor, but I don't know that they will. It's Notre Dame ball.
And he clearly did not touch that basketball. I think what confused the official there was the fact that he chased after it, but right there his hand clearly does not touch the ball. But you see how he kind of goes after it, just a natural reaction. But a huge break there for the Irish.
Irish nearing a 4-minute scoring drought on the wrong end of a 7-0 run. Serta with less than 10. Allocco lays it home, and an unlucky break for Cal there. Thought they had a stop, and now they'll get the final possession of the first half.
That's exactly right. That was a big play. Could have tied or even taken the lead. Now they find themselves down 4. Off the missed call there by the official.
Stojakovic a 3. Rebound Dort, 2 seconds, one back by Muhammad. And instead of a chance to tie or take the lead for Cal, they take a 4-point deficit into the...
A chance to tie or even take the lead, but still to find themselves down only 4 after how well Markus Burton played in that first half. I'd say Mark Madsen's pretty pleased overall with that half from his team.
His team ended the first half on a 7-2 run, the only make over that stretch for Notre Dame after the favorable call. And there is Petrides with a chance at a 3-piece.
Yeah, great job there by Sissoko recognizing on the post double team. Petrides did the right thing, just cut right to the rim. Great pass, great finish, and that is exactly the start you needed here if you're Cal.
And right to the free throw line go the Cal Bears to start the second half. They shot 13 foul shots in the first half. And as a team this year, Notre Dame allowing opponents to shoot 17 per game. Cal on pace to well eclipse that. Here is Tay Davis, goes right to the cup with the right hand. Sat a lot of the back end of the first half with 2 fouls. Good to see him back on the floor for the Irish.
And I like that right away. First possession offensively, go to Tay Davis to get him in the flow of the game. You mentioned it, picked up those 2 fouls quickly. Didn't play a whole lot there in that first half, so good job there by Markus Shrewsbury getting him involved early.
Wow, how did Stojakovic flip that up in a phone booth? And 2 shots coming for the former Stanford Cardinal.
See here, got to respect his shooting ability and then just putting the ball on the floor and finding a seam. But again, getting back to the free throw line, this will be the 15th and 16th free throws of the game. Notre Dame very fortunate, though, that Cal has not shot well from the free throw line, only 9 of 14 before this attempt.
For a team that is averaging right around 75% from the line, Mark Madsen in his 2nd season at Cal. Most recently, the head coach at Utah Valley won 2 WAC regular season titles and Coach of the Year in the conference. He told us, I have absolutely no reservations about the fact that I believe we'll get it going in the ACC here at Cal. The biggest thing is figuring out the travel in this conference as Roper goes coast to coast and scoops it home.
Yeah, that was perfect execution there in the press offense by Notre Dame. Just got the ball in quickly and got it up the floor for the 2-on-1. Mark Madsen did an unbelievable job at Utah Valley. He mentioned it, the 2 WAC championships, and you know you're never going to worry about how much passion and intensity he puts into the job. He coaches like he used to play.
How about that by Roper? Walking the tightrope, flips it to Allocco. Still dealing with that wrist. But how about this, coast to coast from Roper?
And again, just perfect execution against the full court pressure, and Sissoko put in a tough spot there. But Julian Roper getting to the rim and finishing. Cal's just hanging around, just haven't had a chance to tie the lead yet, but playing with a lot of confidence here offensively to start this second half.
Made their first 3 3-point field goal attempts of this game. They've since gone 1 for their last 8 from distance. Davis takes the bump, and 2 shots coming for the Indianapolis native.
Good job there. Good recognition by Notre Dame. Cal had gotten them switched there. Sissoko was guarding Tay Davis out on the perimeter. Davis just liked the one-on-one matchup, said I'm going to use my quickness to get to the rim. And Tay Davis being aggressive here early in the first 2 minutes of this second half after sitting out most of that first with 2 fouls.
A legitimate, don't you think, contender for ACC Most Improved Player?
Oh, without a doubt. There's no question. He has just continued to get better and better. The last piece will be becoming a consistent knockdown 3-point shooter. I think a lot of that is confidence. He just doesn't have a ton of confidence in right now. Doesn't shoot a ton. But I was watching him today in their shoot around earlier this morning. He's got a good looking shot and he was shooting it well, but he's just so athletic that his strength is getting to the rim, and he takes advantage of it anytime that he can.
That might be number 3 on Davis. Remember, he sat much of the back end of the first half with 2 fouls, and that is the 3rd on the 2nd-year transfer from Seton Hall. First time as a primary scorer in his career. Already more points this season than the total combined in his first 2 years of college basketball, as Wilkinson is in double figures with 10.
Execution there on the underneath out of bounds play, just a simple screen to screener. Cal's playing well offensively in this game. They have struggled at times this year to score the basketball, not shot it particularly well, but it's not much of an answer defensively for the Irish.
Davis thought about a 3, instead takes it to the rack. No, second chance, you bet.
And that's the one. If he can get to the point where he can catch that behind the arc and knock that down consistently, he will almost become unguardable. You saw just a little hesitation, but he put the ball on the floor, got to the rim, got his own miss, and laid it back in.
And defensively can guard 1 through 5. We saw it on Wednesday night guarding Maxime Reynaud, the 7'1" center for Stanford. Meanwhile, Wilkinson is going to the foul line, and that is number 2 on the ACC leading scorer, Markus Burton, and already 4 on the Fighting Irish.
Notre Dame here's got to figure out a way to stop the dribble penetration without fouling. Right now, Cal just putting the ball on the floor and getting to the rim and getting to the free throw line. You mentioned already 14 fouls for the Irish.
Well, we've talked about it a bit already this afternoon. Both teams have solidified their place in the ACC tournament. Remember, the bottom 3 teams do not make the tournament this year, but these 2 teams will make it. With a win today, both can improve their chances of bettering their seed line going into the ACC tournament this week. Notre Dame could be as high as a 9 seed and get that coveted first round bye. They would need a win plus some help. And with a loss, Cal does lock themselves into the bottom seed in the tournament on the 15 line. Here is Burton. Contact, no call, and the rebound, Stojakovic.
Cal putting Andrej Stojakovic that time on Burton, maybe trying to get a little bit more size to try to help defend that mid-range when Burton gets in the paint, and worked that time.
Blacksher off the bounce. Wilkinson sizing up Roper. Blacksher at 3. And there has been a lid on the rim from downtown so far this half for Cal. Burton ripped by Petrides. Ball on the deck. And it's out of bounds. Last touch by the Bears. Mark Madsen again pleading his case. And like the end of the first half, disagrees with who that was last touched by, according to the referees.
Heck of a play there by Petrides just to take the ball away from Burton. And at first glance, it looked like it was going to be Cal basketball, but I think after seeing that, I think Petrides was the last one to touch it. So good call there by the officials.
It remains a 4-point game in South Bend. 16 minutes to go in the final regular season game for both teams.
Look how Andrej Stojakovic is just face guarding Markus Burton, just not even trying to let him catch the ball.
Kebajai, that's a nifty move by the freshman over the grad transfer from Michigan State, Mady Sissoko.
Well, the play was definitely designed to get Markus Burton in some kind of handoff, but Cal did a good job defending it. And Kebajai, sometimes you just got to do it yourself. Great little jump hook there, getting to his right hand.
And I beg your pardon, Jai, the junior, second-year transfer from Penn State, and he and Sissoko on the deck, both gripping their heads. And Mady Sissoko pointing to Claire Aubrey, asking for them to review the monitor for a potential flagrant foul. We will continue to monitor the situation as Kebajai remains down. A 6-point lead for Notre Dame. We'll be right back after this.
I think Kebajai definitely got the worst of that. Looked like it hit him right on the front, almost left side of his face in the cheek area. And he was definitely the slower of the 2 to get up. So let's hope he's okay. But it looks like Sissoko is going to be fine to stay in this game. But just a bad break and just a nasty head-on collision.
And remember, this is a Notre Dame team that has been snake bitten by injury all year. They're without their 3rd leading scorer, Braden Shrewsbury, for the rest of the season. Matt Allocco, of course, his injuries have been well documented, starting just his first game since early February today, playing with a wrap on his right wrist. Now they're down Kebajai. Burton rejected by Stojakovic. That has been a favorable matchup in the second half for Cal. Burton still scoreless after he had 18 in the first frame. Petrides, no, off the window, and last touched by Notre Dame.
Well, I love the adjustment at halftime by Mark Madsen to put Andrej Stojakovic on Markus Burton. Use that size, even though Burton was obviously able to get by him right there. Just a great comfort behind block. So
one of the most well-rounded players in the ACC. Only he and Cooper Flagg have a similar stat line in league play, and that includes defense. Sissoko, no good with the bunny. Petrides fighting for it. It's Muhammad coming away with it for Notre Dame.
There's just been a lid on the basket for Cal to start this second half. Just unable to find anything. Got to the free throw line. As far as shooting the ball from the field, just unable to really get anything going. There's one way to get yourself going right here.
Oh, take flight, Mr. Wilkinson with the cockback.
We talked in that first half about Notre Dame's troubles at times this year taking care of the basketball, and just a careless pass right there. But give Jeramiah Wilkinson a ton of credit. Read that perfectly. Able to turn a little bit of defense into offense there and get an easy one.
They're going to whistle Stojakovic with a foul. Here's another look at this dunk.
And Markus Burton just careless there, and Jeramiah Wilkinson, not sure that was quite the time for the windmill, but nonetheless was able to finish it.
Hey man, if you got it in your bag, you got to show it.
Well, that's one of those that if that doesn't go down.
Oh yeah, he's hearing an earful.
Yes. But hey, give him credit. Playing fearless, you got to love it.
14 points on 4 of 7, the second leading scorer in this game behind Markus Burton, still looking for his first 2 of the half. Roper extra pass, Muhammad. Campbell with the rebound. 3-ball Stojakovic.
Pretty good look there by Andrej Stojakovic in transition, just unable to get the friendly roll.
And is that an offensive foul? It looked initially like Jerry Heater was calling an offensive foul there, and I don't believe it is. I think this is going against Cal.
Yeah, it looked like the officials were trying to figure out.
It's going to be the second on Lee Dort, the Vanderbilt transfer. And off the bench forward for the Cal Bears.
It looked like they almost weren't on the same page and were trying to get on the same page, but Cal going back to that 2-3 zone here. Notre Dame did a pretty decent job in the first half getting the ball to the middle. There it is, Tay Davis back in the game. It's his one-on-one matchup, and he's going to win that one every time.
Draws the second foul on Rytis Petraitis, 4th on the team, and Davis to the foul line. Now he and Petraitis a little bit shaken up after the collision. Well, we talked about it, a physical game that saw both teams reach the bonus in the first half. Cal getting to the line early in the first half. This is Davis's second trip of the afternoon. The nothing but net crew is on site in Greensboro, both before and after the ACC Women's Tournament Championship game tomorrow on ESPN. The preview show begins at noon Eastern, post-game with all the highlights, analysis, and interviews with coaches and players right after the final horn on ACC Net. And the championship game is set. NC State and Duke for an ACC Women's Tournament Championship. Here's Stojakovic. Campbell eyeing the shot clock with 10. Probing. Tap out to Knesny.
And again, Notre Dame has done a pretty good job throughout most of this game of limiting Cal to one shot. Sissoko's had a couple offensive rebounds, but for the most part, Cal's been one and done almost every time down.
One of the best offensive rebounding teams in the conference, actually trailing Notre Dame in that category today. And last touch by Knesny. Meanwhile, during that last exchange, Kebajai coming back onto the floor and sitting on the Notre Dame bench after a brutal head-to-head collision with Mady Sissoko just a couple of moments ago. Good news for Notre Dame. Stojakovic stripped by Knesny.
Notre Dame has done a good job here in the second half of challenging everything at the rim. When they haven't fouled, they've been very successful defensively.
Whistle. And a charge. No.
Yeah, they're
yes,
going to get
charge.
Tay Davis, which is his 4th. We take a look at it here. Yeah, that's a good call. You don't see a whole lot of charges anymore in college basketball. The defender has to have both feet set before the offensive player leaves the floor. And Lee Dort was right there, just held his ground. Great job. And that is a big 4th foul there with 12 minutes to go. Tay Davis, second leading scorer for this Notre Dame team, going to spend some time over there on the bench.
Dort cannot handle the lob. It'll stay here. Last touch by Notre Dame. Entering a break zone, and still Cal within striking distance. Trailed by 4 at the half. Down 5 with 12 minutes to go in regulation. Stojakovic creating space and banks it off the window. First field goal in 4 minutes for the Bears.
Cal's just hanging around. Has the feel of one of those games where if they can tie or take the lead, gotta like their chances, but they just have not been able to close this gap to more than 2.
Almost picked by Wilkinson. And one back by Allocco. Notre Dame ball when we return with a 3-point
country from a civil rights standpoint with the Vietnam War going on, but especially in Berkeley, California. And my dad was in high school at the time and has some pretty crazy stories. But unfortunately for my grandfather and everybody else in what was the Pac-8 at the time, there was a pretty good program down in Los Angeles called UCLA that kind of had it rolling. So everybody was competing for second place every year. But it was interesting to listen to my dad talk about going and watching those games with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who at the time obviously was Lou Alcindor, and Bill Walton, and all the great players that went through UCLA, and they were literally unbeatable, especially there for 88 games in a row, which ties in here with Notre Dame. But just an incredible 4-year run there. He was actually hired by the legendary coach Pete Newell, who was the coach at Cal, won a national championship in the 50s, and ended up hiring my grandfather, and they remained very, very close friends. And definitely a lot of basketball in our family, needless to say. So,
third foul on Lee Dort. Had to be a thrill, although maybe not during, for your grandfather to coach against one of the best all time in John Wooden. But looking back on it, when he's not in the trenches against UCLA, probably a cool memory for your grandfather.
Well, it's ironic. When I was trying to figure out where I was going to go to school, I took a visit to UCLA when Ben Howland was the coach there. And I had a chance to go and eat breakfast with John Wooden. And he remembered my grandfather, and it was really funny and a good call here. Clearly Julian Roper dipping that shoulder. But the basketball world is a really, really small world. And yeah, just what an incredible time to be able to say that my grandfather coached in the Pac-8 against John Wooden and the UCLA Bruins.
Well, that offensive foul against Julian Roper is his 3rd, and now 6 on Notre Dame. One more Cal shooting free throws the rest of the way. Meanwhile, the Bears have 5 team fouls. Free throw line could be a major story here late in a tight game for both teams. And remember, Tay Davis, second leading scorer for Notre Dame, on the bench with 4 fouls. Stojakovic to Blackshear. Tough shot over the outstretched arms of Allocco, and he makes it a 1-point game.
Give Jovan Blackshear a lot of credit right there. That was good defense by Notre Dame. Just a tough mid-range jump shot right inside the 3-point line, and all of a sudden Cal, again mentioned before that timeout, if they can just find a way to tie it or take the lead.
Are you surprised to see Roper on the floor with 3 fouls? As Allocco buries a 3.
That was a huge basket there by Matt Allocco. No, Tay Davis is over there with 4. Can't put him back in the game yet. It's a little too early still, so you got to leave Roper out there. Notre Dame, both these teams obviously very thin with all the injuries they've battled, but you just got to leave them on the court.
Still have not seen Kevin Jai return after he went out at the 15.5-minute mark at this half, after knocking heads with Mady Sissoko, who has also primarily been on the bench since that incident. Campbell off the heel. Did it get interfered with? Yes. They're going to count the bucket.
I think they're going to get a foul here on the rebound against Cal.
Oh, wow. And Mark Madsen again does not agree. I thought Konstantinovsky might have interfered with this here. Right there.
Yeah, in real time I did as well, and I think they got the foul on Dort.
You're right. That's number 4 on Dort.
With the push and Konstantinovsky in the back.
Did that not look like Konstantinovsky touched that ball when it had a chance to bounce back in?
Well, it did, and in real time I thought the same thing. The only thing maybe they decided was the ball was below the rim, so it didn't have a chance to go in. But interesting sequence there.
And now Dort goes to the bench with 4 fouls. Mady Sissoko comes back on for Cal.
Andrej Stojakovic again just face guarding Markus Burton. That time got switched off.
Oh, Stojakovic sends back Muhammad. It'll stay here with 7 to shoot for Notre Dame. He has changed the dynamic of this game. Burton had 18 in the first half, scoreless in the second since Stojakovic took the assignment.
And where does Notre Dame turn for that second scoring option? Braden Shrewsbury obviously out for the season with an abdominal injury. But Tay Davis over there on the bench in foul trouble, and Matt Allocco hit that last 3. But other than that, it's not a whole lot of supporting cast from Notre Dame.
Knesny comes into the game
right on cue.
For Julian Roper to the bench with 3 fouls and knocks down to 2. Foul trouble an issue for both teams. Stojakovic hanging on the drive, short. Sissoko put back in the foul for the grad transfer from Michigan State.
How timely of an offensive rebound. We had talked about it several times. Cal just not getting any success whatsoever on the offensive glass, but finally Sissoko, great drive by Stojakovic, even a little bit of contact, but Sissoko just going up and getting it with 5 white shirts standing around, and only the 5th offensive rebound of the game for Cal, who averages over 13 per game in league play. Very, very timely.
Sissoko now with 7 points and 6 rebounds. And it's back to a 1-possession game. How do you get Markus Burton going in the second half if you're Micah Shrewsbury?
Well, give Cal a lot of credit. The adjustment of putting Andrej Stojakovic on him has made a huge difference. But somebody else is going to have to step up here and contribute a little bit. Might be this guy right here. Matt Allocco knocked down that 3.
Gutting it out through the wrist injury. Has 5 quick points in a 2-minute span. Regularly needing a lot of ice after shoot-arounds and practices. But he is in his final few games as a collegiate athlete. Wouldn't want to spend it anywhere but on the floor. Wilkinson goes right at him and lays it in for 2.
And if you're Cal right now, you just got to figure out a way to put together a couple of stops. You can't continue to trade baskets. Get cheap hair against Stojakovic. The Cal Bears hanging around here in South.
Markus Burton at the line looking for his first points since the first half. Had a game-high 18 over the first 20 minutes. And there it is. Well, Monday night will debut our documentary chronicling last season's double run to the Final Four. Both the men's and women's program at NC State made it all the way to the Final Four. The 1-hour special, Why Not Both, premieres at 7 Eastern right here on the ACC net. 5 straight games with 20 or more for Markus Burton has elevated his game to another level. And a whistle against Notre Dame is going to put Cal on the line. And that is the 3rd foul on Matt Allocco.
Clearly what the offensive plan here is for Mark Madsen's team is just get the ball to Jeramiah Wilkinson and kind of get out of the way. The Notre Dame faithful and Micah Shrewsbury disagreeing with that call.
Well, foul trouble, David, is a major story for both teams. Wilkinson now with 17. With the Bears without Lee Dort, he's on the bench with 4. They have 4 more players with at least 2 fouls. Meanwhile, Notre Dame's Tay Davis remains on the bench with 4. Julian Roper on the bench with 3. And now Allocco with 3. And for Notre Dame, an injury-shortened bench. No Braden Shrewsbury the rest of the season. We haven't seen Kabajai come back since he took that blow to the head early in the second half.
And I thought after that last time out, I thought Micah Shrewsbury might put Tay Davis back in the game. But again, another block from behind by Andrej Stojakovic.
And and takes it all the way.
Gets rewarded on the other end. What a play defensively by Andrej Stojakovic. His third block of this half alone, all on Markus Burton.
He has locked down on the ACC's leading scorer, still without a field goal in this half, and he makes it a one-point game. Konecny, baseline, looking for the hammer, and gets a fortuitous bounce over Sissoko.
Well, I guess 2 points is 2 points, right? I mean, you gotta love the aggressiveness of Konecny of going to the rim and trying to put Cal on a poster, but a good block by Sissoko just bounced in the rim.
Stojakovic with the runner, back-to-back for the former Stanford Cardinal, who is having a career year in more ways than one for the Bears. Six minutes to go, a 59-58 lead for Notre Dame. Both teams playing for seeding in the ACC tournament. Konecny, turnaround J is silky.
And he made that look easy. It was pretty good defense there. Took away the baseline and just used his size on the turnaround jump shot. All of a sudden, J.R. Konecny starting to feel a little bit of offense.
He has 9 points. Stojakovic to Campbell. Bang from downtown, and the first three for Campbell in this half.
I thought Andrej Stojakovic should have shot that one in the corner, but decided to put it on the floor. But DJ Campbell tying this basketball game up. And another block.
Stojakovic again, his third block of Burton. Here comes Cal.
Hey!
Oh, rejected at the rim. Muhammad sends it back for Notre Dame. Get your popcorn ready for the final 5 minutes in South Bend.
How about the defense here? Andrej Stojakovic with the block from behind, and on the other end, Sir Muhammad timing it perfectly. What a play there to save a basket. Looked like DJ Campbell had a wide open layup, and Sir Muhammad just came out of nowhere.
And Stojakovic needs a breather. He's been doing it on both sides of the floor. Meanwhile, Tate Davis checks back into the game for Notre Dame with 4 fouls. We are about a minute away from that under 4 immediate timeout. Markus Shrewsbury hoping that Davis can make it to that break without picking up his 5th. Burton spinning, shuffles. Oh yeah! Konstantinovsky pays it off with a 2-hand jam.
A great job there by Nikita Konstantinovsky of not standing in the corner and cutting to the basket. Burton kind of got caught in the air there, but a great find for the easy dunk.
Petrides. And Konstantinovsky with a rebound.
I have a feeling Andrej Stojakovic is going to be checking back in here. But doing it, like you said, on both ends of the floor. It's a big possession here for Cal. If they can get a stop.
In a break zone in South Bend. 2-point game. Campbell backing down Konecny, floats it over the top. And Campbell in double figures with 11, a timeout taken by Cal. Tied at 63. Less than 4 minutes to go on the final day of the regular. Some help. Can reach as high as the 9 seed, gaining a first-round bye in the ACC tournament. Meanwhile, Cal playing to get that 12 seed, currently on the 15 line. Tied at 15, 3.5 minutes to go. Burton still without a field goal in this half. Allocco catch and shoot. And last touched by Konstantinovsky. That takes us to our final media timeout. 8 ties, 4 lead changes. Buckle up for the final 3.5 in South Bend.
Good shots, and huge reason why this game is tied here with just over 3 minutes to go.
Markus Shrewsbury has been managing foul trouble really all game, dating back to Tate Davis, picking up 2 early fouls in the first half. He is on the bench with 4. Final 3 minutes and change. And picked off by Roper. Tied at 63. Knesny off the pump fake, splash. And Knesny in double figures with 11.
Just simple basketball. Defenders flying out at you, shot fake, one dribble, two dribbles, little pull up. J.R. Knesny has had some huge baskets in the second half of this game that has really helped to pick up the slack with Markus Burton not really playing the way he did in the first half.
Playing in his final home game as a Notre Dame Fighting Irish basketball player. One of 8 players honored on Senior Day. Campbell rims out a 3. Burton, knifing, rejected again by Stojakovic. His 6th block, and wins it back for the Bears.
This is unbelievable by Andrej Stojakovic. Markus Burton thinks he's got him beat and then just uses his wingspan. I mean, that is just great individual defense there. Just times it perfectly and gets just a fingernail on the ball. I mean, he is the reason Cal is in this basketball game in the second half. Markus Burton was unguardable in that first half. It's been a completely different story here in these second 20 minutes.
There he is offensively. Stojakovic off the window, banks it in. Playing out of his mind in this game. 15 points, 6 blocks, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. And he ties it at 65 with under 2 minutes to play in South Bend.
I wonder at some point here if Micah Shrewsbury says maybe get Tay Davis involved a little bit. I know he's had the foul trouble.
Here is Davis with 10 to shoot. Sizing up Campbell. Davis, step through, rejected by Sissoko. And a late whistle comes in, and the Michigan State transfer cannot believe it, and neither can his head coach, Mark Madsen.
Yeah.
Arguing verticality, partner. Your thoughts as we get another look.
Well, the block initially was completely clean. There was no foul whatsoever. The only thing I can think of here is on that follow through there when he comes down, which was clearly after the shot. That should be a 1-and-1 free throw. That shouldn't be 2 shots. That was not a shot on the foul. There was certainly contact when Tay Davis came down and Sissoko was trying to land. But I certainly understand why Mark Madsen is upset right there. That was good defense, just kind of a strange timing foul more than anything.
1-point game as Davis makes 1 of 2. 3rd foul on Sissoko. Both teams have been in so many tight games in league play, often coming off on the wrong end. Trying to flip the script this afternoon. Stojakovic, no, and the rebound. Konstantinovsky, who has a new season high with 12 boards. 60 seconds to go in South Bend.
DJ Campbell now is matched up on Markus Burton, so we'll see if Burton can take advantage of it, not having the taller Stojakovic on him.
Burton probing, lost it, and a whistle. And that is number 3 on Jeramiah Wilkinson.
And the way the matchups just worked in transition there, Stojakovic unable to get to Burton. And I think Markus Burton's eyes probably lit up a little bit when he saw that Stojakovic finally wasn't guarding him.
Mark Madsen uses one of his final 2 timeouts here before the free throws for Markus Burton. Notre Dame still has 3 timeouts. They will send Burton to the line and can make it a 3-point game. David, how do you see this playing out for both teams down the stretch?
Well, even if Markus Burton makes both of these, if you're Cal, you don't need to come down and settle for a 3. Obviously, if you get a good look, by all means take it, but just got to get something going quick here. You want to try to extend this game as much as possible. Try to get a quick basket, got to get it in, try to get a trap, and then foul. You still got 1 timeout left. Now, Notre Dame has all 3 timeouts, which I'm sure Micah Shrewsbury is reminding them of right now, but just get something quick, but it does not have to be a 3.
If you're Cal, Are you going back to Stojakovic offensively? He's been a menace in the paint, particularly over the last few minutes.
Well, I think you got to put the ball in Jeramiah Wilkinson's hands and get something Stojakovic off the ball, which they did last time, just tried to get a little down screen. But yeah, it's got to be one of those two guys. But again, it's got to go quick. You can't come down and use 20, 25, 30 seconds to the clock. You got to go quickly and try to create more possessions.
Neither team with a foul to give. And remember, just one timeout left now for Cal, who has lost 8 of its last 10 games, including 4 by single digits. Trying to climb into that 12 line with a win and some help. Meanwhile, Notre Dame with a win can move as high as the 9 slot. They would need some help as well later on this afternoon, but have to control your own destiny first with a win and get that coveted first round bye in the ACC tournament. With a loss today, Cal would lock up the 15th and final seed in the ACC tournament.
I'm sure at this point, Cal's just glad that they're going straight to
No
Charlotte
doubt.
and not have to fly all the way back to San Francisco for a change.
We've talked about their travels. They have been long and winding. They've been on the road since Monday, including a stop at Louisville on Wednesday night. Burton makes the first. He has 3 points in the second half. All of them have come from the foul line. And rims it out. 2-point game, Stojakovic with the ball. 40 seconds to go in South Bend. 1 timeout for Cal.
And you don't change whatever you drew up, just stay with it. It doesn't matter that now you're only down 2 instead of 3.
Wilkinson draws a foul on Konstantinovsky, his first. And 2 shots coming to tie the game with 33.2 remaining.
And I like the aggressiveness to attack the rim and do it quickly. It was very clear what they were trying to do. Get Wilkinson going to his left hand, which is his strong hand. 80% free throw shooter in ACC play, so probably the guy you want to go to the rim. And Tay Davis is fouled out of this basketball game.
Yeah, they changed the foul. It is not on Konstantinovsky. It is on Tay Davis, and that is his 5th.
That is huge, especially if this game were to go to overtime.
Free throw struggles have been a story in this game for Cal. Typically a very good 3-point free throw shooting team, rather. Wilkinson misses the first. One-point game and a timeout taken by Micah Shrewsbury. So it'll be Notre Dame basketball. 2 timeouts left. What are you drawing up here if you're Micah Shrewsbury?
Well, they've done a good job handling the full court pressure the few times that Cal has shown it so far today. Obviously, you want to put your best free throw shooting lineup in the game with only a 3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. But if you're Cal, you want to try to get a 5-second count first and foremost. Try to get a trap or a steal. When Notre Dame gets the ball across half court, obviously you got to foul right away, but I would try to get a trap or a steal right away, a 5-second count. Try to force the ball into the hands of the guys that you want to foul. Obviously, Notre Dame's going to do everything they can to get the ball in the hands of Markus Burton.
Well, Notre Dame will have Roper, Burton, Konechny, Konstantinovsky, and Allocco on the floor. Konstantinovsky, not a great free throw shooter, just 5 for 15 this year. And they may be sending him to the bench. Yes, they are. They're going to put Sir Muhammad in instead. He's only 6 for 15 from the line this year. He will inbound the basketball, and now Cole Serta checks in as well. A better free throw shooter on the floor for Notre Dame. Here's Burton, splits the double. Stojakovic goes down, and it's an offensive foul on Markus Burton, and Cal wins it back. And Mark Mattson wants them to take a look at the monitor for a potential flagrant.
And they're going to. There was clearly some contact to the face there.
3rd foul on Markus Burton, and Stojakovic a little bit dazed.
And Markus Burton just trying to get the ball up the court with the dribble. You saw the elbow to the face there. Obviously, it wasn't on purpose by any stretch, just trying to be strong with the ball. But there was contact. This will be our best angle right here. Yeah, clearly contact from the forearm elbow area to the face of Andrej Stojakovic. So not only will that stay as an offensive foul, but do they elevate it here to something else where Cal could potentially get free throws and retain possession of the basketball?
The question is, does the play involve excessive or unnecessary physical contact? I think we could both agree it's incidental, correct?
Of course, and to me, there's nothing unnecessary. Markus Burton is just trying to be strong with the ball.
Making a basketball play.
Exactly, he's just doing what he's taught. You try to step through when you get trapped. He didn't have his elbows out. As ruthless as it sounds, Andrej Stojakovic's face was just kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know, but like I said,
he's been in the right place at the right time a lot today defensively. He's been a menace. 6 blocks in the game, and you've talked about it time and again. His defense on Markus Burton today changed the course of this game for Cal, and it does again, winning the ball back down a point with 30 seconds to go here in regulation.
I think that just stays as a common offensive foul. Notre Dame, or excuse me, Cal should get the basketball. It won't be free throws because it was an offensive foul, a player control foul, but they'll retain possession, and then you just let it go.
And now, with that foul, Cal in the double bonus. So the next Notre Dame foul, 2 shots automatically for the Bears. Still, AJ Desai, Jerry Heater, Claire Aubrey discussing what they reviewed at the monitor. Big call here, obviously, in this game.
The fact that this is taking this long makes me think that they are contemplating elevating it to something more.
Review the call on the floor of an offensive
well,
foul
of all the scenarios,
Mark Madsen can't believe it, and I don't know if you heard what was just said over the loudspeaker here. He just threw his clipboard down. The call was overturned from an offensive foul on Markus Burton to a technical foul on Stojakovic. David, here's why.
well, of all the outcomes we talked about, that wasn't one of them. I thought maybe initially that they would call that by chance, but the fact that they overturned it from an offensive foul to a cylinder foul, you just don't see that very often. I mean, that is, needless to say, that is a massive call in this game. Mark Madsen is irate. And what's the old saying? Maybe the ball doesn't lie.
Rare miss by Burton. Just for context, a cylinder foul in college basketball occurs when a defensive player illegally contacts an offensive player while invading their cylinder. Certainly it didn't look like it to us, but nonetheless, 2-point game, shot clock turned off, and 1 timeout remaining for Cal. Blackshear with the basketball. Almost lost it, and a whistle on Markus Burton. Julian Roper wanted a double dribble, and so did Micah Shrewsbury. But 2 shots coming now for Cal, and they can tie the game. What a chaotic final 60 seconds in South Bend.
Yeah, that would be putting it mildly. And there was some contact on the wrist there. A little hesitation on the whistle.
Blackshear, an 80% free throw shooter. Today, 8 points on 3 of 8 shooting.
You said it, chaos is the word to describe the last couple of minutes of this game. My goodness.
Tied at 68. Micah Shrewsbury does have 2 timeouts as Rytis Petraitis checks back in for Cal. He is playing with a pair of fouls.
Looks like Micah Shrewsbury either going to get the ball over half court here and call one, or he's going to let his guys go. He's going to use one right here.
All right, so take me through this if you're Micah Shrewsbury, because your leading scorer, Markus Burton, has been stifled from the floor in the second half.
Well, the other day, when they won here against Stanford, they did a little two-man game with Markus Burton and Tay Davis, but Tay Davis is out of the game with foul trouble. But here in the second half, J.R. Knesny has been the guy. Matt Allocco's had a couple of shots as well, so I think you got to get some kind of ball screen action with Knesny and Burton and Allocco as that third option. But you said it with what Andrej Stojakovic has done on Markus Burton here in the second half. It's going to be a tall task. But I think if you're Cal, you got to make somebody else besides Markus Burton here beat you. Stay in front of the ball. The most important thing, do not foul.
Is this a situation where you think about putting Tay Davis back into the game? I mean, this is potentially the final play of regulation. He does have, no, I beg your pardon, he did foul out. Remember, they changed the foul call on Konstantinovsky, so they don't have Davis the rest of regulation.
Well, one thing that I don't think teams do enough of, and I wouldn't necessarily be surprised to see Cal do this right here. Right now, Notre Dame is drawing up a play against man-to-man. Cal played a lot of zone in the first half of this game. Maybe come out and show man-to-man, but as soon as the ball's about to be inbounded, go zone and just throw Notre Dame off of what they're trying to do, make them use that last timeout.
Final game of the regular season for both teams. ACC tournament seeding is on the line for both. Cal can finish as high as 12th. Notre Dame as high as 9th with a win and some help. And that would secure a first-round bye in the ACC tournament in Charlotte this week. Final 14 seconds to go.
Andrej Stojakovic on Markus Burton here. But again, J.R. Knesny, 20 in white, is the guy to keep an eye on here.
Allocco with the basketball. 10 seconds. Allocco a three. No. Rebound effort tracked down by Sissoko. Cal with a timeout. And they will give it to Mark Madsen, and he wants them to take a look at the clock, feeling like he got that timeout called before it wound down to 1.4.
That was really good defense there by Cal. Andrej Stojakovic did a great job, not even letting Markus Burton get his hands on the basketball. Matt Allocco just forced to take one. And we couldn't quite see when Mark Madsen was calling the timeout. But nonetheless, it'll be about a three-quarter court length inbounds pass. But with 1.4, you can catch and shoot at minimum. Might even be able to take one dribble and get a shot off quickly here.
If they add time, it wouldn't be that much more time. Maybe another handful of tenths of a second. And like you said, you got to go 3/4 of a court. So you're really looking at close to a half-court shot if you're Cal. And they're going to leave the clock at 1.4. Now remember, both teams are in the double bonus. We've seen crazier things happen over the last 60 seconds of this game. A foul puts Cal on the line with a chance to win it. Notre Dame without Tay Davis, one of their best defenders, fouled out of the game late. They will put Julian Roper back in.
And it's an awkward place to inbound the ball. It's about equal with the opposite free throw line, but you're throwing it at a weird angle. Notre Dame going to put Garrett Sundra on the ball to try to discourage the vision. Again, with 1.4, you just got to catch and shoot. Even taking a dribble is going to be too risky for that clock to run out.
Sundra 6'11", the inbounder Campbell at 6'2". Chucks it toward midcourt. Picked by Burton. Half-court heave, and we're going to overtime on the final day of the regular season in South Bend. Notre Dame, no Tay Davis. We have not seen Kevin Jai since the 15.5-minute mark of the second half. Out with an apparent injury. Meanwhile, Burton did not score a field goal in the second half of regulation. Can he flip the script in overtime? Tied at 68. And a fresh period in South Bend. Wilkinson beating Sissoko with a two-hand jam.
Great interior bounce pass. Jeramiah Wilkinson getting in the lane and drawing the defense, and Andrej Stojakovic in the right spot at the right time, and Cal just finding a way to build the confidence. And again, Stojakovic matched up on Burton. And it seems like just reading the body language a little bit of Markus Burton, just frustrated for good reason here in the second half offensively.
Only fitting that these teams end their regular seasons in overtime. The amount of single-digit games these teams have played over the final 2 months of the regular season, maybe more than any other two teams in the ACC. With tournament seeding implications on the line. Blacksher with 5. Doubled. Sissoko draws a foul, and 2 shots coming for the former Michigan State Spartan.
Right now here in these first couple of possessions, this little two-man game has been really good. You see just a great little interior bounce pass. And Sissoko, when he gets his feet going to the rim like that, is unstoppable. Drawing a foul again off the little drop-off pass that last time, getting to the free throw line. And Cal trying to open up their biggest lead of the ball game. Haven't had many. It's a good time to have your second one. And you mentioned how many times they've gotten to the free throw line, but just have had some timely misses, and that one right there, big as well. Will keep this a one-possession game if he's able to make this one.
Cal has led for just over 6 minutes in this game. Meanwhile, Notre Dame over 29 minutes leading in regulation. But you said it all game long. Cal just hanging around. Burton will still be without a field goal since halftime, but he's headed back to the foul line, where he is 8 for 11 today, and that is the 4th foul on Andrej Stojakovic. A major story now for Cal. He has been their MVP since halftime.
There was just miscommunication on that ball screen defense. I think Andrej Stojakovic was expecting a trap or a harder show, and it just wasn't there, which allowed Markus Burton to get going downhill with his right hand.
Burton with a game-high 24. He scored 20 or more in 5 straight games for the Irish.
Keep the ball here in Jeramiah Wilkinson's hands if you're Cal.
Stojakovic, right past Konstantinovsky.
Or give it to the guy that got you back in the game here in the second half. Just uncontested, going downhill to his right hand. But now you got to be careful if you're Andrej Stojakovic, being too aggressive defensively with those 4 fouls.
Might have been an offensive foul. No, they're going to catch Blacksher, I believe, hanging onto the arm of Knesny. And that is number 2 on Blacksher.
Well, a good little set here, just a little dribble weave into a high middle ball screen with a back screen. A lot going on there in the lane, but Stojakovic is getting to the rim. And Notre Dame almost playing just 4-on-4 down here offensively, because Markus Burton, as soon as he gives the ball up, Andrej Stojakovic is just completely denying him, not letting him get it back.
Since halftime, Burton is 0 for 6 from the floor. What changed? Andrej Stojakovic.
Yeah, 6 blocks by himself in this game. 4 or 5 of them coming on Markus Burton alone, just using his size.
Back to a 1-point game. 3 minutes to go in overtime in South Bend. Ten to shoot. Wilkinson zips right past Allocco for 2.
That is just 4 straight possessions to start overtime, where Notre Dame has just had no resistance whatsoever at the rim. Cal just having their way, getting in the lane and just finishing uncontested.
Burton up and under his first field goal since the first half.
Well, if Cal doesn't change what they're doing on that ball screen, Notre Dame's going to continue to stay with it. There was a show that time, But Sissoko was trying to get back to his man, almost set a screen on his own guy on Stojakovic. Just allowed Markus Burton to go uncontested to the rim.
Wilkinson triple team finds Campbell, elevating to the rack with a two-hand jam.
As much as Cal has struggled at times this year offensively, here in this overtime, they just have an answer for everything.
We have not seen offense like this all season from Cal on the road. Just 1 for 8 in the Central and Eastern time zones. Konechny, no. And Sissoko the rebound.
This is a huge possession here if you're Notre Dame. It's a 3-point game. Give up any kind of points here, it all becomes a 2-possession ball game. But you got to give some resistance at the rim.
Wilkinson knifing short, and the rebound Konechny.
Konstantinovsky giving just enough resistance.
Oh, Allocco goes coast to coast. 1-point game in South Bend, and a minute to play in OT. Stojakovic, yes, off the window. He has been money with the right hand in the paint this afternoon.
I mean, you just cannot say enough about the half that in the overtime that Andrej Stojakovic has had just to will his team back into this game.
Burton from downtown ties it at 79. Muhammad just checking in for Notre Dame. Konechny and Allocco on the floor for the Fighting Irish. Here we go. Final 35 seconds and change in OT. Stojakovic with 5. Campbell at 3. No. Rebound Sissoko. Final 5 seconds. And a timeout taken by Madsen, and wisely so. Uses his final timeout of overtime. And the officials will likely review the monitor just to make sure there are, in fact, 3.3 seconds left. But it'll be Cal basketball. This time, though, unlike the end of regulation, they'll have the ball in the front court with a chance to win it.
Yeah, to be taken out right there on the side in front of Notre Dame's bench. But good defense there, or excuse me, Cal's bench, but good defense there by Notre Dame. Forced Stojakovic to kick it. DJ Campbell, I thought, should have shot the first one right there. Shoot that one. Gave a little shot fake and kind of lost his footing, but great job by Mady Sissoko to keep that ball alive and track it down. And plenty of time here. Can make a pass, can take a couple of dribbles if you need to, but get something going to the rim. Too many times in situations like this, we see just a bad fall-away 3, desperation. Get something going to the basket to try to draw contact, and at the very worst, get to the free throw line.
Cal without a timeout. Both teams in the double bonus. Arrow favors Notre Dame. Tied at 79. Winner improves their opportunity for a better seed in the ACC tournament. Campbell, the inbounder, to Stojakovic for the win. OT number 2 coming your way next in South Bend. Markus Burton, meanwhile, has played 41 minutes and has 29 points. 5 straight games with 20 or more. He's averaged nearly 30 over the last 5 games. And Cal begins the second overtime with the basketball. Stojakovic. Wilkinson a 3. And Burton the rebound.
Notre Dame doing a better job these last couple of possessions defensively of forcing Andrej Stojakovic to get rid of the ball, daring somebody else to beat him.
Konechny walled off by Stojakovic. Here's Allocco. Playing in his final regular season collegiate game, the grad transfer from Princeton. Doubled to Konstantinovsky with the left hand to beat the buzzer. And Notre Dame grabs the lead to start the second overtime.
And that was a great job by Matt Allocco to not panic with the shot clock running low. Andrej Stojakovic came over to double, basically left Konstantinovsky wide open near the rim, but a great find by Matt Allocco.
Blackshirt jumper. And Konstantinovsky adds to his season-high rebound total. He has 12 this afternoon.
Andrej Stojakovic is on J.R. Konechny. Now just got switched on to Markus Burton because of the screen.
Burton puts it past Stojakovic. Largest lead of either OT for Notre Dame.
The offense has plagued Cal all year long, and bad time for them to go cold again. Just been a basket on the, a lid on the basket here to start this second overtime.
You just feel with the way this game has been played, they need a bucket here. 10 to shoot. Wilkinson, a deep three, puts it down to make it a one-point game.
And a huge basket at a time when they needed it most, like you said. Just a kind of a broken play. Had no choice really to just let it go. Notre Dame gets a stop there and comes down to score. This game might be over. That is a huge three by Jeramiah Wilkinson.
Burton sitting on 31. And he's headed back to the foul line, where he has lived this afternoon. Already 10 for 13 from the stripe. That's the fourth foul on Andrej Stojakovic.
Markus Burton just does such a great job when he gets in there of drawing the contact. As a big guy, that can be frustrating because you feel like you're going vertical and he initiates the contact getting into you and just gets the whistle. And it's a skill to be able to draw fouls like that. Really picked up where he left off there in that first half.
And a new career high for Markus Burton, the leading scorer in the ACC this year. Has 33. 3-point Notre Dame lead. 2 minutes and change left in the second overtime. ACC tournament seeding on the line for both teams. Blackshirt walled off, almost lost it. Stojakovic, tap out secured by Allocco, and Burton slows the pace for ND.
Well, you're not going to get a much cleaner look there if you're Cal. Andrej Stojakovic is wide open, just unable to knock it down, and a huge possession here.
Bang from downtown! Burton with a triple.
Well, Markus Burton's mid-range game has been unstoppable in this basketball game, but until overtime had not shot it well from behind the arc. But just taking what the defense gives him. If you're going to back up, I'm going to shoot it. And has just come up with some huge, timely baskets. Give Notre Dame a 6-point lead here. He's just simply not allowed to get tired. Micah Shrewsbury just will not allow it.
Burton has played a game-high 44 minutes. Excuse me, a team-high 44 minutes. Meanwhile, the guy who defended him the whole second half, Andrej Stojakovic, has played 45 minutes to lead all Cal Bears. Mark Madsen's team in a pickle here, down 2 possessions with 1:37 to go. Do you need a 3 at this point?
No, not yet. There's still 1:37 left. You can extend the game, but again, you just got to go quickly. Now, They don't have any more timeouts. That was the last timeout for Cal, so a lot had to be covered in that last huddle. Got to get something going quickly. If you score, get your full court defense set up. If you don't, you're gonna have to look to foul and just try to extend this game.
Wilkinson knocks in a three. He has had a response for every major Burton bucket in this overtime and cuts it back to a one-possession game. Double on Burton. And Notre Dame does have the arrow, so they will maintain possession.
Keep in mind now, because the ball was inbounded, J.R. Knesny cannot move now. You see a huge three here by Jeramiah Wilkinson, which means that Cal, now they don't have to foul. Now it's still a one-possession game. You do not have to foul.
Both teams in the double bonus. No timeouts left for Cal. 2 for Notre Dame. They get it across the timeline quickly, and now Burton with 20 seconds to shoot.
By Markus Burton, I am not giving this ball up unless I am just flat out trapped.
Sissoko hedging. Double. Here's Allocco eyeing the shot clock. 5 to go. Fadeaway jumper. No, Sissoko has it stripped. Knesny off the mark, and Sissoko taps it to Wilkinson. A chance to tie for Cal. Sissoko lays it in, counted in the foul. And a chance to tie it at the line for the grad transfer from Michigan State.
What a chaotic sequence there on both ends of the court. But a heads-up play by Jovan Blackshear. And not a whole lot of contact at all right there. I can certainly understand why this crowd is not happy with that call. As physical as this game has been, that was pretty ticky-tack there. But Sissoko going to the free throw line. Chance to tie the game. And today he is 4 of 6.
A 68% free throw shooter on the season entering the afternoon. A chance to tie it with a make. Apiece. 2 timeouts for Notre Dame. Will Micah Shrewsbury use one? He might have to here, and they will, to avoid the 5-second count. Tell you what, man. Notre Dame's played back-to-back games at home to close the regular season. They won with 18 seconds left, a game-winning shot against Stanford on Wednesday night. 3-pointer by Cole Serta. A chance now to win it on senior day at home in OT. Where are you going offensively, and when do you decide to go with 29 seconds left? That in a moment. Here's the last 2 plays by Cal.
Cal, just when it seemed like they were down and out, down 6. Jeramiah Wilkinson knocks down the 3 to cut it to 3, which allowed Cal to not have to foul. And obviously the crowd not very happy with that call, but nonetheless, Mady Sissoko finishing with a 3-point play to tie it up. But to answer your question, you just got to continue to stay with that high ball screen. Markus Burton, just last time Cal trapped it, they did a good job of forcing Burton to give it up. But J.R. Knesny and Matt Allocco, one of those 3 guys has to try to win the game for you right here. But again, very similar to the ending of the first overtime. With the shot clock off, you do not want to go too early and give Cal a chance to somehow score here.
Sir Muhammad can run the baseline. Shot clock turned off. Allocco gets it across. And now Burton can hold for the final shot if he so chooses. Sitting on a career-high 36.
And if I'm Cal right now, excuse me, if I'm Notre Dame, I just 1-4 flat, keep everybody flat, let him go to work. Right now, you're bringing the trap into play.
5 seconds. Burton the kick to Serta. Wilkinson That will not count from Petritis, and we're going to triple OT in South Bend. Teams with a win can improve their chances of bettering their ACC tournament seeding. And here we go. Cal wins the tip in the third overtime in South Bend.
We talked about Markus Burton's 36 points. Jeramiah Wilkinson, 27 in his own right.
Give him 3 more. A 30-piece for the freshman, who has been sensational.
How timely have those last 2 threes been by Jeramiah Wilkinson?
Ties a career high, the second leading freshman scorer in the ACC behind only Cooper Flagg. And now Burton with the basketball for Notre Dame. Knesny off the bounce, had it stripped by Wilkinson. Blacksher up to Campbell. Through contact, blocked by Knesny. Wide open 3, Wilkinson.
How about that block by J.R. Knesny to save a basket right there?
If there is one word to describe the last 30 minutes of basketball here, it is chaos. Burton off the catch and shoot. That's a 3! 39 for Markus Burton and a new Notre Dame record for points in an ACC game. .91 apiece with 3.5 minutes to go. Here's Stojakovic. Defended by Allocco. Crowd wanted to travel. Wilkinson bumped and draws a foul on Julian Roper. And that is number 4 on the second-year Northwestern transfer.
J.R. Knesny saving a basket that would have made this a 5-point game. And on the other end, who else? Surprise, surprise, Markus Burton knocking down his 3rd 3 of the game to tie it back up.
What perseverance by Markus Burton, who finished the second half 0 for 6 from the floor. He scored 7 in each of the first 2 overtimes and knocks down a big 3 to tie it for Notre Dame. And how about the play of Jeramiah Wilkinson? Did not begin the year as a starter. The freshman from Powder Springs, Georgia, jumped into the starting lineup over the last 13 games and has averaged nearly 20 a game since. Gives Cal a 1-point lead. Allocco, elbow J. No, Sissoko the rebound. Sissoko with a double-double, 13 points, 12 rebounds. 13 ties, 7 lead changes. If you're just joining us, Cal trailed for much of regulation, but maintained striking distance. Almost picked by Roper, still 10 to shoot. Stojakovic. And Allocco the rebound, playing with an injured right wrist in his final regular season game as a collegiate athlete. Has been nothing short of a warrior for Notre Dame.
Oh, fatigue certainly starting to set in for both teams offensively. You can just tell shots are starting to hit the front of the rim. Those legs are getting really tired.
Konstantinovsky the offensive rebound. Allocco back out to Burton, 5 to shoot. Burton a 3. Yes!
Are you kidding me right now?
42 for Markus Burton, ties an ACC season high with Cooper Flagg. Stojakovic ties it at 94 and a chance to take the lead. Taking the bump, he's headed to the line for a 3-point play.
It was a great pass to the corner and a great job putting the ball on the floor. And again, not a lot of contact. In fact, no contact whatsoever as far as we could tell on those replays. But a great job by Andrej Stojakovic of finishing.
Well, Stojakovic this year, team best 82% from the line. Chance to give Cal the lead. Cannot. Tied at 94 with a minute and a half to go.
That time Notre Dame staying in the trap.
Knesny. No. Tap out. And a whistle against Notre Dame. Markus Shrewsbury cannot believe it on the rebound attempt. And it is number 4 on Nikita Konstantinovsky. So 4 on Roper, 4 on Konstantinovsky. And remember, Tay Davis fouled out for Notre Dame at the end of regulation. And so Mady Sissoko will go to the line for the Cal Bears.
Not very often in a situation like this do you see it over the back call. Nonetheless, Sissoko going to the free throw line.
Petrides comes on for Jovan Blackshear Jr. Still one more free throw to go for Sissoko. One-point game. Markus Burton has been the star all season for Notre Dame, the ACC's leading scorer with a game-high 42. And he draws a foul. Is that on Stojakovic? If it is, that is number 5.
Yeah, it definitely was, and they're going to get it on the floor, but nonetheless, 2 shots.
That is a big loss for Cal, not only because of what Stojakovic has done defensively on Burton, but David, he has 21 points for the Bears today.
Yeah, they just simply cannot afford that loss right now. And Markus Burton just using his quickness, getting to his right hand. Give Andrej Stojakovic credit. He was a huge reason why Cal was able to get back into this game. Big reason why they've even gotten to this point, but hate to see this game end for him in that way. And that puts even more pressure on Jeramiah Wilkinson to try to carry the offensive load for Cal.
Well, the previous season high for points in a game this year by an ACC player was 42 by Cooper Flagg against Notre Dame. Markus Burton is 1 point away from breaking that this afternoon against Cal in triple OT.
And fatigue, again, anytime you start missing those shots short.
And a new season high is owned by the sophomore from Mishawaka, Indiana. Tied at 95, less than 60 seconds to go in triple overtime. Campbell a contested 3. Roper, the rebound. About a 10-second differential between game and shot clock here. 2 timeouts for Notre Dame, 1 for Cal.
DJ Campbell just trying to flat out deny Markus Burton from catching the ball. Doing a pretty good job so far, and Markus Shrewsbury is going to get a timeout.
So 1 remaining for each team, both in the double bonus, and the arrow points to Notre Dame. Everybody in the gym thinks you're going to Markus Burton. Do you think about going anywhere else if you're Markus Shrewsbury?
No, you got to get the ball in his hands, and it may even be a situation where you have him take the ball out. Might be easier to get it back to him if he takes the ball out of bounds. Cal's going to try to just completely deny him, face guard him, if not put 2 people on him. But no, if you're Markus Shrewsbury, you got to leave the ball in the hands of number 3 here and just get him something even as simple as a high ball screen to see if he can get going, or even a 1-4 flat clear out type situation. Just let him use his quickness to his advantage.
Either way, if you're Cal, you have to rebound the miss and give yourself a chance, if there is a miss, to have the final possession of triple overtime.
You still got the one timeout, so if you get a clean rebound, Mark Madsen may call the timeout to get what he wants. You said it, about a 9-second, almost 10-second difference here. And Markus Burton is taking the ball out of bounds.
Stojakovic out of the game for Cal with 5 fouls. Tied at 95, 10 to shoot for Notre Dame. Burton trying to get free. Instead, it's Allocco. Into Blacksher. Yes! By the grad transfer. And a whistle comes in from Claire Aubrey. She wants to check the game clock as Allocco took a bump at the end of that tape. But what a warrior, playing through an injured right wrist. You see the wrap on his hand, puts the game on his back and gives Notre Dame the lead.
Well, clearly they were trying to get Markus Burton coming off that little pin down opposite, but Matt Allocco took one look at it and said it's not open, and the defense was so lifted because of the attention that Markus Burton was drawing that he had a wide open lane to the rim and a great finish. Certainly looked like there may have been some contact, but nonetheless, Notre Dame with a 2-point lead here, and each team basically gets a free timeout because of the review on the clock.
And they do add 0.6 of a second to the game clock.
And they did take that timeout off the board for Cal. Mark Madsen was trying to call timeout, but Claire Aubrey stopped it to review the clock, and she's telling them that you still have that one timeout.
So they will add a timeout for Cal. And if you're Mark Madsen, that's huge because you've got to inbound it and go the full length of the court here. If you don't get something right away, you can use that timeout and set something up in the half court. 15 ties, 10 lead changes. Notre Dame has led for almost 34 minutes in this game. Cal just hung around the entire second half to force overtime. And now they have a chance to tie it or win it at the end of triple OT. Wilkinson, the inbounder, has the basketball with 10 to go. Wilkinson barreling his way to the cup and ties it at 97. One timeout left for Notre Dame, 5.6 to play, and Micah Shrewsbury will use the final timeout. What a take by the freshman from Powder Springs, Georgia.
I love it. Just put your head down and say, I am going to get to the rim and finish. Just pure determination there by Jeramiah Wilkinson. Getting to the rim to tie the game up. But if you're Notre Dame here, plenty of time left. With almost 6 seconds, you make a couple of passes, take a couple of dribbles. And as quick as Markus Burton is with the basketball, he can get the length of the floor in 5 seconds. That's not a problem. But if you're Cal, you've got to keep everything in front of you here. I mean, this game has been
unbelievable.
Insane.
Everything you could hope for or more, David Padgett. And a regular season finale on senior day for Notre Dame, honoring 8 seniors or grad students, plus 2 managers. You know, they'd love to send these seniors and this crowd out with a final win to cap the regular season and a chance for both teams here to improve their tournament seeding. Burton, the inbounder. Instead, he shuffles it to Muhammad. 5 seconds, no timeouts. Allocco for the win. We're going to 4 OTs in South Bend.
Is that not fitting on how this game's going?
He's ready to go, man. He's playing in his final regular season game as a collegiate athlete. Konstantinovsky, the grad transfer from Ukraine. And it is Cal winning the tip. Wilkinson kicks to Campbell. And Konstantinovsky with the rebound. Season high 14. Make it 16. I think everybody in the arena needs to second to catch their breath. All have been standing at the end of each of the previous 3 overtimes.
At the end of that last overtime, Markus Burton just put his hands on his knees, almost in disbelief as much as anything.
Blacksher makes the first bucket of the 4th OT.
Blackshear's going to have to step up a little bit. Obviously, with Stojakovic out of the game, Wilkinson's going to be getting all of the attention defensively by Notre Dame.
Roper playing with 4 fouls. Sets a screen for Allocco, 10 to shoot for Notre Dame. A 3, and Allocco rims it out.
That ball was halfway down before that thing came back out.
Campbell off the bounce, defended by Burton. Burton fouled him, counted in the foul.
And just a silly foul there, just to reach in. Campbell was almost dead in the water, just had to force it up. You just don't want to reach in a situation like that. And if you're going to foul him. Don't let him score the basket. Make sure he doesn't even get the shot up to the rim.
That is number 4 on the ACC's leading scorer, who has an ACC season-high 43 in the game today. And the largest lead of OT for Cal. 101-97, 3 minutes and change to go. Burton off the bounce. Doubled, rejected, maintains the ball. 5 to shoot. Konieczny shuffled. Konstantinovsky, shot clock did reset. Allocco draws a foul. Boy, that was a late shot clock reset. Well after Notre Dame kicked it out to Allocco. And now he will go to the line for 2 shots. And that fouls out Mady Sissoko. And he can't believe it, giving A.J. Desai an earful, playing in his final regular season game as a collegiate basketball player, and he'll have to watch the rest from the bench.
And Lee Dort, who's going to come in, also has 4 fouls of his own, and I don't blame Mady Sissoko. There's no foul there, and there's been some, as physical as this game has been, there has been some very touchy foul calls both ways here in these overtimes.
So now Cal is without Mady Sissoko. Their 6'9", 240-pound interior enforcer. They're without Andrej Stojakovic as well, who fouled out with 21. And was excellent defensively in the second half on Markus Burton. Held Notre Dame's leading scorer without a field goal in the final 20 minutes of regulation. Back to a 2-point game, 2:50 to go. Wilkinson probing. Blacksher takes the bump. Rebound Petritis, and is that the 5th foul on Burton? Yes, it is. So the sophomore from Mishawaka will foul out with an ACC season-high 43.
Just an offensive rebound. Notre Dame played pretty good defense. This crowd's going to give Markus Burton a standing ovation, rightfully so. What a performance. And what a tough way for this game to end for that young man. Michael Shrewsbury let Jerry Heater have an earful and then some.
.21 of Burton's 43 came in overtime. This has become a war of attrition. 2 players have fouled out for Notre Dame. Tay Davis, Markus Burton, their top 2 scorers. 2 players have fouled out for Cal. Stojakovic and Sissoko. And multiple remain in the game with 4 fouls. Back to a 4-point lead for Cal. 2.5 minutes to go in the 4th OT. Just the 2nd time in Cal Bears basketball history playing this long of a game, the other in 1960. Here's Konstantinovsky, spins it, puts it off the window for two.
I was about to say how much that changes the entire complexion of what Notre Dame is going to do offensively. But a huge basket there to make it a one-possession game again by Konstantinovsky.
Here comes Knesny, shuffles to Cole Serta, and a chance for Notre Dame to take the lead on a three by Allocco.
Well, who else do you expect to step up on senior day? Matt Allocco has not shot the ball particularly well in this game, but absolutely fearless right there. Knocks down a huge three. Give the Irish a 1-point lead with just under 2 minutes to go. And you gotta love that by Matt Allocco. He knows Markus Burton is out of the game, so somebody else is gonna have to step up, and he was not shy whatsoever to do so.
Returned on Wednesday against Stanford after missing 6 of the previous 7 games with a wrist injury. Gutted it out for 7 points, 7 rebounds. Today he has 19. And we talked to Micah Shrewsbury before the game, and he said nobody outside our program knows how much pain Matt Allocco is in. Just to practice, just to play, ice, wraps, and all kinds of treatment all night before game day. He wouldn't miss this one, his final regular season game in a collegiate uniform.
Well, and obviously it's affected his shot. That goes without saying, but you just got to love the fearlessness to just step up and knock that down. Now if you're Cal, Jeramiah Wilkinson, but Julian Roper has got the assignment of trying to stop him. If you're Notre Dame, you got to rebound the ball. They've given up a couple timely offensive rebounds in these overtimes. Got to limit Cal to 1 shot.
There's Wilkinson for 3. Banks it in! Come on! Wilkinson with 36. And Cal regains the lead with 90 seconds to go in the first 4 overtime game ever in the history of the ACC regular season.
You've got to be kidding me right now.
Allocco eyeing the clock. 8 seconds. Fadeaway jumper. Puts it down. Tied at 106. 60 seconds to go. 1 timeout for each team. Both in the double bonus. Notre Dame with the arrow. Blackshirt, shuffle, Dort with the hammer. Whoa.
How about that pass by Blackshirt? That play was dead in the water. And just a late drop off to Dort for the hammer finish.
David, that's his first field goal of the game, and it gives Cal a 2-point lead. 4-second differential between game and shot. Allocco for 3.
Well, to say that Matt Allocco has stepped up big time would be the understatement of the season so far. Just absolutely putting this team on his back, with Markus Burton fouling out of the game and knocking down another massive 3 to give Notre Dame a 1-point lead. I could not believe Cal just didn't switch that ball screen, decided not to, and Matt Allocco made him pay for it. And what's going to happen next? Just when we think we've seen it all.
9 of Allocco's 24 points in the 4th overtime with Markus Burton on the bench. And now with no timeouts left for Cal and 15 seconds to go, they trail by 1. The Continental co-players of the game, Jeramiah Wilkinson for Cal with a team-high 36, and Markus Burton with a new ACC season-high 43 in spite of fouling out. He will watch the final 15 seconds of the fourth overtime from the bench. Cal, without a timeout, has to go the length of the floor. A bucket to win it for the Bears.
You got to go quick here, because if you miss, you got to give yourself an extra opportunity. You don't want to let this clock run all the way down.
Wilkinson spinning, defended by Allocco. He stepped out of bounds. Back to Notre Dame.
Cal's got no timeouts left. Can't set up their defense other than scramble mode right here, but good defense by who else? Matt Allocco. Forcing the freshman to go baseline, just lost control of it.
Notre Dame does have one timeout. With a foul, they will shoot two. Logan Imes checks in for the first time in this game to add another free throw shooter to the mix for Notre Dame.
And Sir Mohammed cannot run the baseline right here. That was not a made basket, obviously. Got to stand still.
Gets it into Serta, almost lost it, and Dort is fouled out. The third Cal Bear to foul out in this game. And he sends Cole Serta to the line.
Now the question becomes, if Serta is able to knock down both of these free throws, does Notre Dame foul if they're up 3?
What's your philosophy on that?
Absolutely. It's a perfect time, just under 5 seconds. If they're able to make both of these free throws, as soon as Cal gets the ball in bounds, you foul right away. But we got a lot to get to before we even get to that point. So.
The way this game has gone, 4.5 is an eternity.
Spencer Mahoney's going to check into the game here.
Well, Cole Serta goes to the line this year. He is 9 for 10 from the stripe. Knocks down the first. This game tipped over 4 hours ago. 3 hours ago, I beg your pardon.
Feels like 4 hours.
Three-point game. And Marcus Shrewsbury will burn his final timeout. So, if Notre Dame fouls and Cal goes to the line for 2 shots, you try to make the first, miss the second if you're the Bears?
You probably have to at this point, because there's going to be at least a half a second, if not more, that will come off the clock. So you're just not going to have time to play the free throw game again. You know, interesting. I didn't know if Marcus Shrewsbury would use a timeout right there, because he was able to huddle the other 4 guys that weren't shooting. And now you give Mark Madsen a chance to draw something up where they didn't have a timeout. Very curious to see if they do foul here. Marcus Shrewsbury, obviously with a lot of NBA background, coaching with the Celtics and Brad Stevens. I'm losing my mind. I can't even remember coaches' names anymore.
Has it been 3 hours? Has it been 4 hours? Nobody knows.
Very curious to see what Notre Dame does here, but if I'm Notre Dame, I absolutely foul on the catch right away. Let the officials know that that is your plan, so they are not surprised, and they'll be quicker to blow the whistle.
No timeouts left for either team, both in the double bonus. Notre Dame with the arrow, up 3.
And Matt Allocco just now told all the officials that they're going to foul on the catch. Very smart to do that. They'll be much quicker to blow the whistle.
What a star he has been in the 4th OT. 9 points for Allocco this period, plus the potential game-winning stop defensively. 4.5 to go. Wilkinson, the inbounder. Gets it into Mahoney. He was fouled immediately by Imes, and now they're going to have to check the game clock, because I believe more time came off after the whistle.
In an ACC play, Spencer Mahoney is only 1 for 2 from the free throw line.
It's interesting. He was seemingly the first option for Wilkinson, streaking down the sideline right in his purview.
They were trying to, Jeramiah Wilkinson took the ball out of bounds. What they were trying to do is hit Mahoney, hit it right back to Wilkinson to get it some momentum, but Notre Dame was smart. They fouled before he could even make the pass. So with 4 seconds here.
Yes, they add a 1.5 seconds to the game clock here.
Yeah, I think back to your question. I think you make the first one. I think you have to try to miss the second one. There's just not enough time to foul Notre Dame again. Notre Dame's going to put their best rebounding team in the game.
Look at the strategy here. Yep. Mahoney pulling Petrides in as well as Campbell. And this is where you'd love to have Mady Sissoko if you're Cal, but he fouled out in the 3rd overtime.
Well, you got to be careful here if you're Jovan Blackshear and Jeramiah Wilkinson. You can't go in until the ball hits the rim from the top of the key. And he made it. Never fails.
Still a 1-point game with 4 seconds to go. Muhammad running the baseline with no timeouts. Into Sundra, and he is fouled with 3.2 remaining. And Sundra this year is just 8 for 9 from the free throw line. And that is the 4th foul on the Cal Bears leading scorer, Jeramiah Wilkinson.
With 3.2 left, if he makes both of these, I still think you foul one more time. Now, Cal is going to be much more aware of the fact that they may do that, so you got to be a little careful that they don't just catch it and try to heave it. But it's enough time to where I think you still do it one more time. As well as they executed it the first time, I think if you're Notre Dame, you do it again. Obviously, if he misses this one, you certainly don't.
Sundra to make it a 3-point game. He does not. Rebound tapped out. Petrides for the win. Oh! Just off, and Notre Dame survives a 4 OT thriller in South.